Hi everyone, this is Mary Flower, and I'm going to do kind of another step in the whimsical book, and this is the one that I've chose. And if you haven't seen step 1, 2, 3, and 4, then go back and see my other videos. But I want to show you what I'm doing in this one and kind of steps that you can do, and I will show you how to make some of those. I have put in all of the papers. And because of the cover, this is the cover that inspired me, and I really love cats. I have a lot of wild feral cats, and I have some inside-outside cats, and 3 inside cats, and I try to rescue cats sometimes too, because we get a lot of them. And I really like this, and I'm going to change this a little bit, but I do like the cat, and it will stay. And so I started putting in a few places where I can put some cats in here. And I'll show you kind of how I make these little animals. I put some on that page. There's a page back here. And what I'll be doing is I'm just going to be putting cats in. And then I also will be journaling around these little cats. And then there's one more back here that I've made right here, and it's looking away, and it's going to be looking out a window, and it has a little tail here that moves. So but I've only done 3, but I'm going to show you how to do some, show you what I've done. So I'm going to close this for a minute. Then I've shown these buttons, how to make these buttons out of 2 pieces of cardboard, and you cover it with some kind of napkin or tissue paper. I started to cover 3 more with this, and I really like these, and I used these on the side of the previous book right here, and they're just like these. But the reason I like these so colorful is because this is kind of plain on the side here, which goes with it because the buttons are a little bit colorful. But I don't really like them so much over here. I mean, they're pretty, but they just kind of fade into my binding piece of fabric here. So what I did was I took and made 3 more. I had covered them, but then I decided, I think that I wanted plain colors on the side here. And I will be putting some gel medium on this. Let me move my, putting some gel medium on this, and then putting them, putting some embroidery floss through them to make them look like buttons. And I think these are a lot prettier to have them plain with, because there's so much color there anyway. So I just wanted to show that. And the way you do it again is you make a large, you get this thick corrugated cardboard, and make a big one and a little one, and then glue it, and then cover it, and then I'm painting it. So we're going to go on to what I'm going to be putting in here. Now, I've started, I think I showed you some of my simple drawings last time, but I want to show you what, let's move this here, what I've done with some of these pictures. I've put in more detail. I'm going to be doing one that has to do with monsters, but back here I started drawing some simple pictures with cats. And then I started putting in more detail. Let me see if I can raise this so you can see it just a little better. So I went over it and put the detail. And because of the grin in this great big kitty here, I love this big old grin and this long little section from the nose there. I've kind of done a lot of grins on these. Now, not this one, but a lot of them. I like this one because it has a side grin. And I've started putting, and I really like this one. I'm probably going to do this one for you tonight. This one is my, I call her Fifi, and she's got cat-eye glasses, and I'm going to put jewels on it, and so we'll do that one tonight. But if you can see, I have started making other cats, and I want to have some movable parts. This one is the one I used in the book, that one you just saw with the movable tail, and I'll show you how I did it. And I have a bunch of different cats back here. So what I do is, let me find the paper that I did for that one. Okay, here it is. What I do is I take a pencil, I get out my trusty little this is my tracing table, a little one, and it works really good. So I'll try, but since I've already traced it, I just wanted to show you that I put it on there. And what I do is I trace over the top of this, and then I cut out the areas that I want. So I want to have a tail that swings back and forth. I want to have 2 arms that move, and I want a little coat on this gal, and I want her to have these cat eye glasses. So that's what these pieces are here. And then these pieces are made with pen, and then I will just actually glue it to it when I show you how to do that. So we'll work on this one, and I'll show you how I make Fifi. And I'm going to make her this color here. She's a brown. And so what I do is I start with the base, which is the main part of the cat. And you're going to be cutting these little pieces out. And I just kind of gently cut around it like so. So that, and here's the important part, is taking a stapler and staple these around it. And what it does is makes this a lot easier to cut out. And it looks better. So I staple all the way around it, like so. So that when I start to cut, then it just cuts through both pieces, like so. This way you don't have to draw on your colored paper here. You can just and you'll see how I do this. Okay, so here's my main piece right here. I'll just set this part aside. And what I like to do is put a little bit of color and depth in this. And so sometimes I'll, put a little color around the edges, especially like the tips of the ears. And a little bit of shading. And then I also use my black to go around the edge too. This will make it stand out a little bit better in your book. Now, on my other book, I put all my funny little creatures made by my children and grandchildren onto black cardstock, but I don't want to do that with this one. I think I'm going to do it without doing that on the edge. Okay, so there's the main piece. Then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to probably sit down here and see if I can work this. I'll try to keep it so you can see. Now you want to cut basically around the black so that it stands out. And I'm going to put the little eyes on here. On one side, and now if you want, you can put, like this one, I want to put a little blue in the eyes right here. And so I want to make the eyes sort of blue because it's kind of almost has a Siamese look, sort of, you know. And cats have slits for eyes. They don't have round ones, but you can make it how you want. Now I like this paper right here, so I'm going to make a little triangle out of the red here and make a nose on this. Now, when you're making your books, you can do what you want. You can make them for your children or grandchildren. Or, where did my little guy go? Oh, I dropped him almost here. Okay. You know, I think, let me see, I'm going to refer, this is the reason I wanted to draw these, because I kind of like the look in here, so I'll refer back to the picture here. And this one has a long, kind of skinny nose and a little side mouth, if you can see that. So that's kind of, I really like that, so I might even move that up a little bit there and come down on it and put sort of a side mouth on this one. Kind of give it kind of a funny little face like that. Then I want to, let's see, here's my pieces. See, I have a whole box of funny pieces, and I want to find a piece to make for my cat eye glasses, and I'm trying to think of what I want to do. I think maybe this will work right here. I think I kind of like this, but the way I do this is it has to be a fold. Here's my cat eye glasses right here, and I have to put this on a fold like so. And then I'm going to staple it so I do a good job. Now, if I don't like this, I might try a different one, but I'm hoping that I like this color here. So, and then I'm going to put some jewels on this. Now I'm hoping, I didn't actually measure this, I'm hoping that it'll just go over those eyes. I actually measured the first time, but, so, let me see if it does it. I think it's going to work. So, I'm also going to have to fold it like so, and cut them out. I usually use a little tiny pair of scissors for this, but I don't see them here. Now, I'm hoping this will work. Well, it's a little bit far, but I think I can easily remedy this. What I'm going to do is just bring them closer. Now, if I don't like the color of this, I am definitely going to start over. No, I don't think I like that. Oh, we'll wait on this part. We'll go back to it. I'll save my little cat eye pattern. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is work on her little thing here. And I kind of wanted a pink on this one. I liked this paper right here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to staple it. And I'll stand up and make sure that I'm doing this right so you can see it. Now, if you want, you can find like a little piece of fur, white fur or something on this, but I'm going to put it right here. Now, I almost don't even like that. So, let me pause this a second. Okay, I have at some kind of sewing fabric place, you could buy these little pieces of flannel, which I think are really fun in here. And so I got this huge bag of different pieces of flannel to use, and I think this will be fun to use these nice soft little pieces on the little coat. It's actually what I used on the other ones. I'll show you really quick. On here, if you can see this right here, this is flannel, and I like how those turned out. And if you come back here to, let's see, where did I put the other ones? The other ones have flannel on them as well. And here it is. This is flannel right here. And it's nice and soft. And over here, right here on these two kitties, I put a flannel piece. And it's nice and soft. And I like the colors. It's rich. And I'll probably be using a lot of this flannel on here. So I need my special scissors. And I like this pink, and if you want the best scissors in the whole wide world, get these Cutco kind. These were pretty expensive, but my husband got them for me for a Valentine's gift. I know, I said, I want Cutco scissors, I don't want flowers. And so he bought me several Cutco knives. And so I was able to get the scissors free. And I love these scissors because you can cut a copper penny with them and right through it. And then you can come back and cut fabric. You can cut paper and then fabric. Anyway, I like this one better. And then I have a little collar right here. And you can do the same thing with fabric here, is you can put a staple right through both, and that makes it easier, just like you do the two pieces of paper. And so then I'm going to cut out this little collar. And put it right here. And I also have some little buttons. So it's starting to look really, really cute. Now, I have two legs, and I'm going to show you how I use brads on these legs. So what I'm going to do, I lost my lid over here. Oh, well. I'll get it in a minute. When I put this kind of stuff on here, I do use a little bit of glue, a regular tacky glue, but in the middle of it, I'll use a glue stick. And what it does is it kind of helps both, because then it makes it lay flat, but then it won't go anywhere either. So there you go. Here's my little butt. I may take this up because I forgot to put the little legs in here. In fact, I think I will take that off because I was going to put the legs on first. So I'll cut these out, the legs first here. And this is how I make articulated paper dolls. I make patterns like this and the different sections. And I cut it out of, you know, whatever I decide I want to use, either fabric or I will use other paper or, you know, all sorts of kind of paper, and work with the pieces and kind of, you know, do shading with them, or, you know, to make them look a little, you know, three-dimensional. So there's one leg, and I should have left that little coat until the end because I want it to go over the top of here to kind of hold these legs in place. So here's the legs. I want one to go here and one to go here, but in order for these to show up, you have to take a paper and a Sharpie, and you go around the edges. So I take it. Now be really careful, otherwise you'll flip your marker onto your piece, and then you'll have to cut another one. So, which I've, you know, done that before plenty of times. So just kind of be careful. See, what it does is put an edge on it so that it'll, you know, put more detail into it when it'll show up better. So wherever you can't get to little places on like this piece here, you can do it with the ink, but sometimes you can't get down into the corners, and so I'll go over it like so, and it just makes it show up better. It goes on the edges here. So if you can see that, it kind of puts a dark line around it. So what I want to do now is take my little punch here, and I'm going to place this where I want to put these. So I want to put one here and one here, and you go through both, because then you have it at the same time. So now I have a large jar of brads, and it's pretty crazy. So I'm going to pause it for a second to find the appropriate color. And then I realized I didn't need to have the exact color because it's going to be under the little coat anyway. So you want to put these in here. Come on. And I'm also going to show you how to make these so the head moves in the front, and it's oh, there we go. See, got the little legs that move. There you go. Now I can put this over the top, and like so. And it, since some of it dried, I'll just have to sew it down again. Now what I do when I do this, I don't like to touch this area because I want this to move a little bit freely, but to the side of it, so that way it moves a little bit, but not too far. And maybe just a little bit right here so that it just kind of catches it, but it still has a little bit of movement. See, like that. And then I'm going to put the little collar on here. And then I'm going to punch 3 little places, a couple little places right there, and put in some buttons. So I'm going to find those buttons first. Well, I'm afraid I'm going to lose the... Sometimes when I let this camera go too long, it'll just turn off. And so I didn't want to take the chance. So I'm going to do the tail right here. Now, I don't know if I want the tail. Yeah, I kind of like it that long. What do you guys think? So, okay, we'll cut this tail out. I paused it so that I could jump through this part. And we're going to put the little tail right here. But I have to do the same thing. I lay it down and put my marker on it. Now I'm going to use just a little bit of color on this too, so it kind of looks Siamese kind of, but it's kind of the wrong color, so for that, so we'll just call it a tall skinny cat. Okay, now on this one I'm going to put the tail behind here. So I want to place it and make the punch at the same time. And I think I'll cut it off a little bit. Now with this one,